Welcome back to Coast to Coast, where we're attempting to ride from Central Coast to Wollongong via the Blue Mountains over 5 days. This 5-part series follows our journey as we navigate gravel roads, fire trails, old stock routes, and whatever else the map decides to throw at us. Just 2 bikes, some gear, and a rough plan. On day 3, we tackle one of the most exposed roads of the trip, drop into Megalong Valley, and take on the 6-foot track, where riding quickly turns into hiking. We swim in one of the most scenic rivers I've ever seen, battle exhausted legs, and face a tough decision that could make or break the rest of the trip. After the long night yesterday, we both woke up feeling pretty battered, but surprisingly motivated. We treated ourselves to a morning coffee, packed the tents, and hit the road.
If you haven't watched episode 1 and 2 yet, it's definitely worth going back to see how we got here.
Okay, day 3, hour 0. Just packed up camp, put up here about 9 o'clock last night, got to bed till like 12, 4 or 5 hours of sleep, broken, ready to go.
Yep, good to go.
The ride out of Mount Wilson was actually delightful. After last night's bumpy descent, anything that resembled a normal road felt like a gift. And looking back, I'm super grateful I appreciated that, because the rest of the day would end up anything but normal. Today we'd be riding one of the most dangerous parts of the trip, Bell's Line Road. In our planning, the only real risk mitigation we had was to get up early and ride it before the traffic picked up. Fortunately, riding Bell's Line wasn't as scary as we thought it would be. There were shoulders in sections and the traffic was light early in the morning. Eventually, we found a turn-off to a gravel track that ran parallel to the train line. It felt good to get off the main road, but progress was slow. The surface wasn't great, and we had big targets to hit, so we got back on the road not long after.
Decided to go back onto the road. Whilst the gravel was nice, it was like that really fat blue chip gravel or rock.
We stopped in Mount Victoria for a proper breakfast, hot food, coffee, a milkshake, and a chance to top up on some batteries.
Alright, so we just stopped off for breakfast in Mount Victoria. Had a lovely meal, coffee, milkshake, just like stocking up to get ready for the day ahead. We were about 7 k's away from Blackheath. We're both feeling pretty tired. Yesterday was really long. I think we were on our bikes for 10 plus hours, pushing uphill, riding lots of uphill, just a long day in general. But that kind of gave us the confidence we needed to know that this trip was actually possible. We got to camp pretty late and both got up reasonably early as well, which is kind of cool. I don't know, yeah, anyway, it's kind of fun that just figuring out that this trip is actually doable and possible. Today's another big day, lots of elevation gain, a lot of hiker bikes, I think. That should be fun. We don't actually know where we'll end up, but we'll see where the day takes us. We're off to Blackheath next, which is about 7 k's from here, where we'll stock up on supplies and then make our way towards 6-foot track.
Next stop was Blackheath. We were still worried about the weekend traffic, but those feelings quickly dissipated as the peak hour traffic of all the holiday makers heading home to Sydney meant there was bumper-to-bumper traffic. I couldn't help feel a little bit smug as we filtered through the traffic. We knew that Blackheath would be our last major town for the rest of the trip, so we stocked up on supplies.
Just at the IGA Blackheath, top up on some pretty much a couple of lunches and a bunch of nutrition, i.e. a ton of lollies, and then we'll make our way down to Megalong.
I bought 3 bags of lollies, 2-minute noodles, chips, and some soft drink. We then began the drop into Megalong Valley. The descent was so fun. Smooth road, fast riding, keeping up with the cars, and you could really notice the change in the ecosystem. Once at the bottom, we cruised on the bitumen towards 6-foot track.
40 k's done. We just came down Megalong Valley. It was delightful, delicious, tasty. I don't know why I use those words to describe a ride.
So far this trip, I hadn't seen an average speed of over 10 kilometers per hour, so making good time for once felt amazing. I felt like we were finally ahead of schedule, but that feeling didn't last long.
50 k's done. We've just made it to the turn off onto 6-foot track. We are here. Where are we going? So we're gonna ride all the way, I think, to around here. Genolan Caves is closed, so there's some track that goes down this way, and then down that way. Let's have a look at some elevation. I have no idea where we are, but I imagine we're somewhere near the bottom. So we've got a bit of a climb ahead of us.
We entered the 6-foot track with a mix of excitement and low expectations. We heard a lot about it. It's an iconic trail with beautiful scenery, but it's also slow, rough, and not particularly suited to gravel bikes. The first section was mostly single track, tight, twisty, with tree roots, loose rock, and lots of steps, keeping you on your toes.
Tyler the Beast. One-handed. Look at that pure strength.
Riding it was doable in sections, but it was the kind of trail where you're constantly on and off the bike. Walk a bit, ride a bit, stop, lift your bike, repeat. It was slow going, really slow. But I really enjoyed this section. It was just you, your bike, and nature. Just the sound of tires on dirt and your breath. We pushed on for a couple of hours like that, picking our way along the track, and just when we were starting to feel the heat, we reached Cox's River. That was the reward. We dropped the bikes, peeled off our shoes, and jumped in. The water was cold, but exactly what we needed. It was the kind of stop you don't plan for, but once you're in, everything else just fades out. No rush, no pressure, just the cool water, the sound of the river, and a chance to reset. After that, we crossed the river via this beautiful suspension bridge and got ready for what we knew was coming next. The long, steep climb out of the valley.
Whoa, what is that? Oh, cute. G'day, mate. Can you how you going? I don't know what you are. How you going, buddy? Some little...
Oh, like rodent.
Yeah, I don't know if it's native or not, but...
After Cox's River, there was a long climb ahead of us, and for us that meant a long hike.
GoPro effect will make this look like a flat road, yep. But let me assure you, it certainly is not. Wow. Alright, we're at Alum Creek Campground at the 6-foot track. We've pretty much going to push on as far as we can go, so we suspect we'll have to camp somewhere between here and Boyd River Campground, between now and slightly after dark. So we've fully topped up on water. We've got about 3.5 litres of water each. 6-foot track is a little bit harder than I think both of us expected. There's just a lot of walking. I guess it's a hiking trail, so maybe we should have expected that. But yeah, like, I feel like I've just gone through a little bit of a low point, doing what I can now just to like eat some more food, get some sugars in me, and perk up for that final afternoon push. Gotta rally. Yeah, but we've done, what, nearly 65 Ks today. The plan was somewhere around 90, but if we get, you know, I think anywhere between 70 and 80, I'd be happy. Tomorrow's a little bit of an easier day anyway. We can make up some of those Ks that we don't make today, tomorrow. Yeah, looking forward to it. Any closing remarks?
No, keen for another evening climb up and steep hill.
Yeah, we've got, I think, 2 more climbs. Go down a little bit, up, and then down a lot, and then back up.
1,000 meter.
1,000 meters? Really? Combined? No, that's a lot. Oh well, see where we go. See how we go.
One thing that had been bugging us the whole day was the route we had planned to bypass the currently closed Genolan Caves Road. I had drawn the route without a care in the world, and on closer inspection we realised this route had over 1,000 metres of elevation lost and gain. And to give you some context, that was nearly double what we did at Bowens Creek last night, which nearly broke us, and almost the entire elevation gain we had done for the entirety of day 1. And to make matters worse, we'd probably have to do it again in the dark, or tomorrow morning when there was a lot of rain. We did, however, read about another option, the Genolan Caves Fire Trail, but I hadn't plotted it properly and didn't know what condition it was in. Not too much to report, apart from the fact that we have now become hikers. Little to no riding has been done in the last half an hour or so.
but it's quite beautiful here, surrounded by nature. I'm not getting smacked by leaves and bitten by leeches. Things could be worse. Finally made it to the top. Just coming onto sunset now. We're both pretty tired, so we're gonna just try and find somewhere to camp along the way if we can, if we see a nice clearing, if that's the go. We're trying to figure out how to bypass Jenolan Caves without having to go all the way down to the bottom of the valley. I'm not sure if it's possible or not. The sun has just gone down. For the last 10 Ks or so, I reckon 9 of those Ks have been walking and 1 riding, so it's taken a bit longer than we expected. We're now just going to try and find a campsite somewhere. We've got to do a few repairs to Tyler's bike and just refuel for a big day tomorrow. Tomorrow was supposed to be a bit of a quote-unquote rest day, but we've kind of built it in as a contingency, so we'll see how we go. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe at the campsite. Catch you later.
Alright, we found a place to camp, just a clearing on the side of the road. That's it for today.
And that wraps up day 3. By the time we reached camp, we were wrecked. More walking than riding, barely any flow, and now we were officially behind schedule. Our goal was to make it to Wollongong in 5 days, but at this point, that mission was starting to slip. Thanks for watching. If you've been enjoying the ride, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on day 4, where we try to make up for lost time, find a workaround for the closed Jenolan Caves road, we get chased by dogs, ride through freezing rain, and end the day at one of our favourite campsites of the trip.